Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the time has come to crown ourselves the Hexbots Hexbug Battlebots Series 1 Championship, or to crown ourselves a new champion. Starting for the number 1 seeds Quarter Pounder, the number 8 seeds ThunderStrike, the 13 seeds Shadow, the 5 seeds Spikeosaurus, the number 15 seeds Sergeant Tankshell, the number 7 seeds Extinction, the number 3 seeds DeathRoll, and finally the number 6 seeds Kingslayer. Welcome to the Hexbots Hexbug Battlebots Championship Final. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hexbots Championship Final. Tonight, we kick off our rounds with the number 15 seeds Sergeant Tankshell and the number 7 seeds Extinction. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, there is no backing down, no excuses. If you are finished, you are done. Whoever wins this championship brawl gets the coveted Hexbots Giant Nut. But with that out of the way, let's begin with Tankshell and Extinction. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the bot battle begin. The chase for the giant nut is on. Sergeant Tankshell with a little hit there. Extinction having some issues. It has a lot of issues back then. Now it is now. And another big hit there by Sergeant Tankshell. It sends Extinction toward the shelf. What a hit. And it knocks off a wedgelet, and I believe the tail on Extinction. Extinction, they gotta recover from this loss. Because they're being straight up mullered right now by Sergeant Tankshell. They could have the factors of making a great champion. Another big hit by Tankshell, and again, there you see the tail on the floor from Extinction. Courtesy of that giant shell of Sergeant Tankshell. Tankshell sort of just letting Extinction hit him. Extinction, they're getting underneath Tankshell. Tankshell, they could be lifted up, but they're still going. And they remove a front piece of Extinction. Extinction trying to grab a hold of it with its lifting bar. It got absolutely mullered against Viper Shot. Well, last part, but he's recovered somehow. But now has to face the number 15 seeds in Sergeant Tankshell. In fact, the number 7 seeds, Extinction, they're not really doing too well as we thought. Another big hit by Tankshell. Tankshell coming from Ukraine. Extinction from Wisconsin. Extinction being mullered around the arena. Tankshell, they're not really doing anything. They're just sort of just like letting Extinction hit the big hit. But that's the point with full body spinners. They're supposed to do that. And Extinction coming with a little backlash with the spinner. It's not really doing anything. Plausibly could be going to the judges. Tankshell having some issues trying to spin up to speed. Extinction just waiting for them to just hit a big hit again there by the might of Sergeant Tankshell. And Tankshell, another big hit, launching something around. It's probably more that front wedge off of Extinction. Extinction haven't had a lot of trouble until now. I thought against Viper Shot would be their breaking point, but they're still going. There goes the back panel of Extinction. Extinction, they're now stuck onto their tail. Tankshell, they're sort of moving. This is the destructive Sergeant Tankshell we want to see. Another big hit by them. Extinction and Sergeant Tankshell going the distance. Ladies and gentlemen, we have entered a judge's decision. The judges awarded it a split decision win to the number 15 seeds, Sergeant Tankshell. Well, it's sad to see Extinction gone. They were pretty much winning in terms of control, But it's just Sergeant Tankshell who just keeps laying the onslaught to robots. They are the first competitors to enter the round of 4, or the semifinals. But now let's begin with DeathRoll and Kingslayer. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the bot battle begin. DeathRoll, the number 3 seeds, and the number 6 seeds, Kingslayer. Kingslayer try to get a little lift in there on DeathRoll. Now grabbing a hold of DeathRoll. DeathRoll, they're going to use their same strategy they used against Whiplash. Remove the wedgelets and let them have no ground game, or makes it difficult to lift them. It is a pretty good idea, and it did succeed against Whiplash. However, it's going to be different. It's going to be different against Kingslayer, because they're the number 6 seeds, and so far undefeated, lifting DeathRoll, but DeathRoll managing to get back onto his legs, or at least wheels in this instance, and getting back into the action goes DeathRoll, the number 3 seeds. They're also struggling pretty well. Kingslayer, a little lift there, not really doing anything. DeathRoll, a little jab there to the front of Kingslayer, and they managed to remove a wedgelet off of Kingslayer. So at least their DeathRoll's plan is working into action. However, Kingslayer could still lift them over, because of course that's what they mainly do. And they're trying to go for that other wedgelet off of Kingslayer. Tries to go with DeathRoll. DeathRoll, they're executing their game perfectly. However, I don't think it's really going to work. And DeathRoll's been flipped over. DeathRoll, the number 3 seeds, flipped over. No way to self-right. And this is going to be a KO for Kingslayer. They could have hopes of making it to the championship. Cease. And that will do. Number 15 seed, Sergeant Tankshell, they're probably going to be in trouble, because they're going to face the number 6 seeds, Kingslayer. But now next up, we've got Shadow versus Spikeosaurus. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the bot battle begin. Shadow getting that lifter into place. Spikeosaurus they're having a lot of control issues. I mean, that's certain. Shadow removes the side panel. Shadow, the number 13 overall seeds, I believe. Spikeosaurus, the number 5 seeds. This is going to be the most difficult fight yet for Shadow, because they're facing a top seed, and it is pretty dangerous, but it's getting underneath of Spikeosaurus, despite all of that weight, especially on that weapon motor on Spikeosaurus. And a little jab there to the front wedge of Shadow goes Spikeosaurus. Spikeosaurus, they're demonstrating a lot of control issues, and 100% not good on aggression either. In fact, they're under the shelf, but they escape. Shadow trying to eye Spikeosaurus. There goes the side panel off of Shadow. And another hit there. Shadow almost lifting Spikeosaurus over. Didn't exactly do anything. Big hit! Popping Spikeosaurus. Shadow, they gotta time their lifts perfectly in order to get that great momentum and to actually lift Spikeosaurus over. But Spikeosaurus is a pretty hefty robot. And the spinner has stopped. Shadow still going with their plan. They're still getting underneath of Spikeosaurus. Even with that little front wedge on the front of Spikeosaurus, can't really do anything. In fact, it's just there to deflect horizontal spinners like itself. Shadow still proving its might in terms of aggression and control. Spikeosaurus, they're not really doing it for this fight. Little lift there from Shadow, trying to lift Spikeosaurus. Can he do it? Can Shadow do it? No, they can't. Shadow still pinning Spikeosaurus into the shelf. less than a minute to go. Shadow still trying to do whatever it can to maybe do something. It gets Spikeosaurus into the shelf, but it gets free. That could have been a win there for Shadow, but Shadow still going with that lifter. Spikeosaurus, they're having some major control issues. And Shadow, a lot of well-driven moments for them. They could probably win the award of Best Controlled Robot if they don't win. It's going to go to the judges. Ladies and gentlemen, the judges have awarded a split decision win to the winner, Shadow. Well, that's got to be now the most controversial. I mean, Spikeosaurus, at least one of the judges voted for Spikeosaurus, but they mainly casted Shadow because mainly they had more control and more aggression. I'm pretty sure they're not wrong. As the number 13 seeds, Shadow prevailed to the semifinals. Spikeosaurus, they're gonna be their team is angry for that loss. But now it's the number 8 seeds, ThunderStrike, and the number 1 seeds, Quarter Pounder. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the bot battle begin. The number 8 seeds, ThunderStrike, and the number 1 seeds, Quarter Pounder. Quarter Pounder. With that deadly spinner, it's recoiling so much. It makes uppercuts recoil look cool. And ThunderStrike mistiming that flip. They can't really do a lot with that flipper. But not exactly can Quarter Pounder. That weapon is up to full speed. It's hitting the floor. What is it trying to do? A breakdance? It hits the back of ThunderStrike. That's the only thing Quarter Pounder did so far that was impressive. Quarter Pounder still getting up to speed. ThunderStrike, another mistimed lift. ThunderStrike still trying to prove its might. Oh! Big hit by Quarter Pounder, almost flipping it over. And now it gets ThunderStrike near to the shelf. Tries to maybe attack it. Maybe they could have just left him there, but, well, it didn't really do anything. Quarter Pounder, they have what it takes to become a most destructive robot, but we've also got Spikeosaurus. They almost flipped themselves with that recoil effect also. That combined with the recoil really makes Quarter Pounder really lose a lot of control. Like it's a rocket ship out of control. ThunderStrike. I don't even know if they can really flip over Quarter Pounder. Oh, the Quarter Pounder's stuck, but they escape as always. Quarter Pounder lands a little jab there to the flipper. And somewhere around that area near the crotch of ThunderStrike. Quarter Pounder with a little bit of some hits onto the top of ThunderStrike. Nothing too major. The fact it's driving circles like a boss. Oh my god! Quarter Pounder, they're flipped! And ThunderStrike willing to help them. They get the number 1 seeds back up. ThunderStrike with some great sportsmanship. But that's not what we should be doing right now. Kill your opponents. Like, do whatever it is you do. My, oh my. And ThunderStrike paying the costs. They're getting themselves up into the shelf. Maybe they are just like, yeah, we deserve it. We helped the number 1 overall seeds. We best be dead. Quarter Pounder still shoving around. They're still beating that weapon onto the ground. And a little hit there onto the flipper. Again goes the number 1 seed, Quarter Pounder. It's going to go to the judges once again. Ladies and gentlemen, we have entered yet another judge's decision. They rewarded it unanimously to the winner, facing the number 13 Shadow, the number 1 seeds, Quarter Pounder. That has got to be another close win. Yeah, they did recoil and did flip themselves. ThunderStrike could have left them for dead and they would have easily faced Shadow. But they choose to help them. Great sportsmanship. But now, we have just 2 more fights left to see who will go to the final. We now have the 15th seed Sergeant Tankshell and the 6 seeds Kingslayer. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the bot battle begin. Tankshell, the number 15 seeds versus the number 6 seeds Kingslayer. Sergeant Tankshell up to full speed. Tries to land a little jab, maybe. Kingslayer, they're stuck. Oh my god! What a hit by Tankshell! Just ejecting Kingslayer near the sidewall. It does it again. Tankshell, all of a sudden waking up. Their heat was not impressive, but this is an impressive showing by Sergeant Tankshell, ladies and gentlemen. The number 15 seeds, the lowest seed going into this tournament, besides Shadow, still proving it's Mike Kingslayer, still lifting them, and they get them into the shelf. Kingslayer moving on to the final. Wow. Cease. And what a dominant performance, well, for the beginning for Sergeant Tankshell, and then Kingslayer miraculously gets the lift, taking out Tankshell. Kingslayer moves to the finals, and Tankshell for the 3rd place battle. But now it's the number 1 seeds Quarter Pounder, and the number 13 seeds Shadow. This is going to be difficult for Shadow. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the bot battle begin. Who is going to face Kingslayer in the championship? Will it be Shadow from Japan or Quarter Pounder from the United States of freaking America? It does that wheelie again. Lands another jab there to Shadow. Shadow, they gotta be careful. If they don't win, they can still at least win the bronze prize. Or at least the bronze nut. And they could also win in best driving, because they have the best driving so far. I can be proven wrong with many, many other robots. But we'll see. Shadow almost getting another lift in on Quarter Pounder. Quarter Pounder, they are probably destined to become the most destructive, or at least somewhat the champions. But they're going to have to face a hard challenge in Kingslayer. Quarter Pounder still trying to move. It's still doing that recoil. And that recoil was so terrible, or it was so catastrophic to them in their previous fight, they actually flipped over. And they're doing it again, but with Shadow. At Shadow, they get them into the shelf. Can they win? Can they win, maybe? Leave them there. It's Shadow, just leave them there. They're still attempting to get a lift in, but that costed them. Because they could have won it by a knockout. But no, they choose violence over mercy. And Shadow, another non-good lift. They're still trying to get underneath of Quarter Pounder, almost doing it again, almost lifting him over. Quarter Pounder and Shadow, a fight I will never expect would ever happen. Shadow getting dismembered by Quarter Pounder. Shadow, they managed to win against the number 5 seed Spikeosaurus. So I hope they could do it again against Quarter Pounder. If not, it would be impressive for the number 1 seed to go to the championship. And something just went flying. I realized it's a piece of Quarter Pounder. And there's another big hit to the side of Shadow. Shadow having somewhat something controlled related, not really going well. It's going to go to the judges nonetheless. Shadow going into the shelf. This is not good for them. Quarter Pounder, they could win by a knockout, but of course Shadow escaped because why not? Quarter Pounder, another big hit by them. Shadow and Quarter Pounder, they're both probably going to go to the judges, and they are. Ladies and gentlemen, we have entered yet another judge's decision. They awarded it unanimously to the winner going on to the finals. The number 1 seeds, Quarter Pounder. And there we go. Our final has been set it up. But before we can begin to the final, we've still got our third place bout between Sergeant Tankshell and Shadow. Ukraine versus Japan. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the third place battle begin. Shadow and Sergeant Tankshell. Shadow trying to get in underneath Tankshell. Tankshell, they've been very impressive this season. Here comes Shadow trying to lift Tankshell up and over. Oh my god, they almost flipped him over. I think the pulverizer, yeah, they're hitting the back of Tankshell. Oh my goodness. I've never seen Shadow attempt to lift a huge robot like Tankshell. Both robots reset. Tankshell up to speed. Again, big hit by Tankshell. Might or might not have removed the side panel off of Shadow. Shadow, they gotta do something. Maybe to... Oh, a little lift there by Shadow. And Shadow getting underneath of Tankshell. Can they lift them over, maybe? I don't know. I think it's probably going to be an unstick because both robots don't seem to be moving. And... hold on. They're twitching. I think that's the pulverizer that's hitting them. Both robots not really moving. It's going to be an unstick. And the fight continues. Tankshell doing the best they can. They stop their spinner. In comes Shadow. Another lift in. Can they do something? You can see the underneath of Tankshell. And now they're attempting to put him into the side wall. They do. Shadow, impressive, but they're going to get third place. Quarter Pounder. Kingslayer. Only one competitor can hoist the Hexbug Battlebots Championship trophy, the Giant Nut. Who will it be? Kingslayer from the United Kingdom, or Quarter Pounder from Pennsylvania. Let us begin the final for Hexbots. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the championship bot battle begin. Quarter Pounder up to speed. Lands a little jab there to Kingslayer. Kingslayer and Quarter Pounder. Quarter Pounder loses an eye, because why not? Kingslayer, they've been undefeated all season long and are currently the number 6 seeds. Quarter Pounder, the number 1 seeds. Devastating wins. But it's going to depend, can it be Kingslayer who gets the championship? Or the Giant Nut? Or will it be Quarter Pounder from the United States of America? And Quarter Pounder, they're stuck. They're stuck. This could be a win for Kingslayer. Can they win the championship? The countdown is on for Quarter Pounder. I think this could be it, ladies and gentlemen. And the countdown has stopped. Kingslayer is your new champion. Congratulations to Kingslayer for their undefeated run and just going completely undefeated to win and hoist the Giant Nut. But before we go, we've also got 4 other rewards. Well, we hope you enjoyed this season. There will be more Hexbots coming your way before there's a season 2, which is next year in 2024. But for the rest of 2023, it'll be our vengeful matches and bounty hunter tournaments. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for your support and patience. I know this has been a long time, but anyways, we'll see you next time. Subscribe, and thank you for watching for Bonzel28.